My friends, today we come together with open hearts, ready to embrace the beauty of restoration. Life in all its ups and downs has a way of breaking us, whether through loss, disappointment, or difficult circumstances. But no matter how broken we may feel, I believe we have the power to heal, to renew, and to be restored. Restoration is not just about returning to how things were before. It's about coming back stronger, wiser, and more whole than ever before. It's the journey of rebuilding what was lost, of reconnecting with your true self, and rediscovering your purpose. It is the promise of a fresh start, even in the most trying times. And my friends, one of the most powerful tools we have for this process is prayer. Prayer is a sacred space where we invite divine energy into our lives, asking for help when we feel we can't do it alone. It's through prayer that we allow our hearts to open, our burdens to be lifted, and our spirits to be renewed. So today, I invite you to come with me on a journey toward healing, toward restoration, toward wholeness. It begins with an open heart, free from past hurts and fears. It begins with the willingness to trust that even in our darkest moments, restoration is possible. But we must have faith that the journey may not be easy, but that with each step, we are growing and moving closer to the person we were meant to be. In this moment, I want to remind you that restoration also requires forgiveness. The path to healing cannot truly begin until we release the pain we've been holding on to. Forgiveness, my friends, is not about condoning what was done, but about releasing the hold that past hurts have over us. It is in forgiveness that we reclaim our power. We forgive others and we forgive ourselves, for we know that we are deserving of peace. As we move forward, it's important to release the past, not to forget it, but to release the pain, the shame, and the regret that may be holding us back. The past no longer has the power to define who we are or who we are becoming. With each prayer, with each breath, we step into a new chapter, one that is filled with possibility and hope. And so, my friends, prayer becomes our act of empowerment. It is not passive, it is active. When we pray, we call on divine strength, we reclaim our peace, and we declare that we are ready for healing. It is in this prayer that we invite restoration into every area of our lives, our bodies, our hearts, our minds, and our relationships. Even in the hardest of times, it's so important to practice gratitude. I know that might sound difficult when we're in the middle of struggle, but I believe there is power in gratitude. With every prayer we speak, every step we take, we have the opportunity to be grateful for the lessons, for the growth, for the strength we've gained along the way. As we close this moment together, I want to lead you in a powerful prayer for restoration. Wherever you are, however you feel, I invite you to pause and receive this prayer with an open heart. We come to you today with open hearts, humbly asking for restoration. We invite your presence into our lives, knowing that you have the power to heal every wound, to restore every broken place, and to make us whole again. We release the burdens we've been carrying, the hurt, the fear, the pain, and ask for your divine help in healing these wounds. Help us to forgive ourselves and others, to let go of what no longer serves us, and to move forward with the courage to rebuild and renew. The need for restoration is something that resonates deeply within each of us at different points in our lives. It's a universal experience to face moments of hardship, loss, or emotional turmoil that leave us feeling fractured, weary, or disconnected. We may encounter circumstances that break us down, whether it's the end of a relationship, the loss of a loved one, a period of personal failure, or a deep internal struggle with self-worth. These experiences, while painful, highlight an essential truth: restoration is a necessary process for healing, growth, and renewal. We all go through periods when we feel as though something important within us has been lost or altered, whether it's the loss of a dream, a sense of direction, or a connection to others. These moments of disconnect can leave us feeling fragmented. Sometimes these feelings emerge as a result of deep personal trauma, but they can also come from smaller, everyday experiences that chip away at our sense of self. When we encounter these challenges, we need restoration, an intentional process of reclaiming wholeness and rebuilding the parts of ourselves that have been affected. In some cases, the need for restoration arises from external forces, losses, betrayals, and situations that are out of our control. But it's just as important to recognize that restoration is also about reclaiming our own inner peace and mental clarity when life feels chaotic. Restoration doesn't just happen on the outside, it's deeply connected to the way we care for our emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. We must nurture ourselves in ways that allow healing to occur from the inside out. The process of restoration often involves allowing ourselves the space to grieve, to release past pain, and to recognize the ways in which we may have been neglecting our needs. It's about taking the time to listen to our hearts, to honor our feelings, and to give ourselves permission to heal at our own pace. We may need to forgive ourselves for mistakes made or forgive others who have caused us pain. True restoration requires vulnerability, but it also requires strength, the strength to confront what we have been avoiding and the strength to move through it. Moreover, restoration is about hope. It's about trusting that no matter how broken we may feel, there is always the possibility of a fresh start. Even when things feel irreparable, we are reminded that growth comes from struggle and healing is an ongoing journey. Restoration reminds us that we are capable of rebuilding, of coming back stronger, and of moving forward with renewed purpose and strength. We are constantly growing, constantly changing, and in order to thrive, we must give ourselves permission to embrace the restoration process when we need it. We cannot expect ourselves to remain the same after hardship. We must allow ourselves to adapt, to grow, and to heal. It's okay to admit when we need restoration. It's a natural part of life's rhythm. Without it, we risk becoming stagnant, disconnected, or lost. Understanding restoration is about recognizing that it is not merely a return to a former state, but a transformative process of healing and renewal. When we speak of restoration, it goes beyond just fixing what is broken. It's a journey of rebuilding, of reclaiming lost strength, and of rediscovering parts of ourselves that may have been neglected or overlooked. It is a holistic experience touching not just the body or the mind, but the heart and spirit as well. To understand restoration is to grasp that it is both a physical and emotional process, a way of healing that leads to a deeper, more profound sense of wholeness. Restoration begins when we acknowledge that something within us or around us needs attention. Life's challenges, whether they're personal struggles, emotional pain, or physical ailments, often leave us feeling fragmented or disconnected from our true selves. These challenges can be small, everyday stressors or significant events like loss, trauma, or failure. Regardless of the cause, restoration requires us to admit that we are in need of healing. It is an act of self-awareness and understanding that we are not invincible and that at times we need to step back and tend to our wounded parts. The process of restoration isn't an instant fix, and it often involves time and patience. We can't simply wish for things to be better. Healing happens when we allow ourselves to go through the motions of recovery step by step. This may mean acknowledging painful truths about ourselves or our circumstances. It may mean confronting the things we've been avoiding or finding the courage to let go of attachments to the past. Restoration requires us to face the parts of us that are broken and gently allow them to heal. It's about taking care of ourselves, whether through reflection, rest, or seeking help in order to create the conditions for growth. One of the key aspects of restoration is the idea of wholeness. Often, when we face challenges, we can feel like pieces of us are missing or that we've lost our way. But restoration teaches us that the parts of us that feel lost or broken can be reclaimed and reformed into something stronger, something more aligned with our true essence. It's not about becoming the same person we were before the hardship, but about evolving into a new version of ourselves, one that is more resilient, more compassionate, and more connected to our purpose. Understanding restoration also means embracing the idea that healing is not linear. We may experience moments of progress and then setbacks. We may have days where we feel like we've taken 2 steps forward, only to feel like we've taken 1 step back. This is part of the process. True restoration doesn't happen in a straight line. It's full of ups and downs, twists and turns. And this is okay. What matters is that we continue to move forward, no matter how slowly, and that we trust the journey. Furthermore, restoration involves forgiveness, both of ourselves and others. Healing cannot fully take place if we are holding on to grudges, anger, or guilt. Letting go of these emotions is an essential part of the restoration process. Forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from holding on to pain. It's a gift we give ourselves, allowing us to let go of the past so that we can fully embrace the future. Restoration also requires a sense of trust in the process, in the timing, and in ourselves. There may be moments when the road to recovery feels long and uncertain, and we might wonder if we'll ever be fully restored. But it is in those moments of doubt that we need to trust the healing process most. Trust that, just as a tree grows slowly after being pruned, so too can we grow and heal, even if it's not immediately visible. Trust that with every prayer, every step, every effort, we are being restored in ways we might not yet fully understand. Understanding restoration means also understanding the role of hope. Even when things seem broken beyond repair, restoration holds within it the promise that renewal is possible. It gives us hope that we are never beyond redemption, that no matter how dark our circumstances may seem, there is always the possibility for light. Restoration isn't about erasing the past or pretending the pain didn't exist. It's about finding peace in the aftermath, about moving forward with strength and grace. And even though the scars may remain, they are reminders of the strength we've gained through the process. Ultimately, restoration is a deeply personal journey. While we can seek support from others and lean on the wisdom of those who have walked similar paths, the process itself is unique to each person. What we need to restore our own sense of peace and purpose may look different from what someone else needs. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. What is universal, however, is the need for restoration itself, a need to reclaim what has been lost, to heal what has been broken, and to rediscover the wholeness that is always within us. To understand restoration is to embrace the fact that we are ever-evolving beings capable of great resilience and growth. We are not defined by our struggles or our pain. We are defined by our ability to heal, to rise, and to restore ourselves to our highest potential. Restoration is not just about fixing what is broken. It is about understanding that healing is a part of life, a continuous process that leads us to deeper peace, greater strength, and a more meaningful existence. And in this process, we find the courage to be our truest, most empowered selves. The power of prayer is one of the most profound and transformative forces in the world. It's a deeply personal and spiritual practice that has the ability to connect us with something greater than ourselves, whether it's a divine presence, the universe, or the deeper parts of our own soul. Prayer offers us a moment of stillness, an opportunity to align our hearts and minds with a higher power and to tap into a wellspring of strength, comfort, and guidance. Through prayer, we invite healing, clarity, and peace into our lives, and it becomes a powerful tool for transformation and growth. At its core, prayer is an act of communication. It is a way of reaching out, expressing our deepest desires, fears, and gratitude, and opening ourselves to the possibility of receiving guidance, wisdom, and love. Whether we are seeking strength to face a challenge, healing for an emotional wound, or simply expressing thankfulness for our blessings, prayer serves as a direct line of connection to the divine. In those moments when words fail, prayer gives voice to the unspoken, and it can transcend the limits of language, reaching into the heart of our being. The power of prayer lies not just in the words we speak, but in the energy we put behind them. When we pray, we are intentionally focusing our thoughts and emotions in a way that aligns us with a higher vibration. Prayer can create a shift in our energy, moving us from a place of fear, anxiety, or uncertainty to one of faith, hope, and trust. It helps us clear the mental clutter, quiet the inner noise, and create space for peace to enter our hearts. This shift in energy can have a profound impact on our emotional, mental, and even physical well-being, because when we are at peace internally, we are better equipped to navigate the challenges of life. Moreover, prayer has the power to open our hearts to healing. When we are hurt, whether by loss, disappointment, betrayal, or pain, prayer offers a means to process and release that hurt. It allows us to surrender our pain to a higher power, trusting that we don't have to carry it alone. In doing so, prayer can provide a sense of comfort and reassurance that we are not forgotten, that we are supported, and that healing is possible. It can also help us forgive both ourselves and others. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful forms of release, and prayer allows us to ask for the strength to let go of resentment, bitterness, or regret. As we pray for healing, we often find that the very act of asking for it opens the door to profound emotional restoration. Prayer also has the power to bring clarity and guidance into our lives. When we are confused, lost, or uncertain about a decision, prayer can serve as a compass, helping us find direction. It is a way of inviting divine wisdom to flow into our lives, offering insights and understanding that may not be immediately obvious. In these moments, prayer often reveals answers through feelings, intuition, signs, or even conversations with others. It helps us trust in the process of life, knowing that we are guided in ways we might not always be able to see in the moment. Prayer helps us tap into the wisdom of the universe, reminding us that we are not alone on our journey and that there is a greater plan unfolding. The power of prayer is also a reminder of the strength of our own inner spirit. It encourages us to tap into the divine qualities that reside within us: love, compassion, resilience, and hope. When we pray, we not only call upon external support, but we also awaken the power that is already within us. Prayer encourages us to believe in our own ability to heal, to grow, and to overcome. It empowers us to face our fears, take risks, and trust that we are capable of creating positive change in our lives. Prayer affirms that we are never powerless. We are always connected to a source of strength that can guide us through any storm. Furthermore, prayer has the power to foster a deep sense of gratitude. It allows us to reflect on the blessings in our lives, no matter how big or small. In moments of prayer, we can express thankfulness for the beauty of life, the relationships we cherish, and the simple joys that often go unnoticed. This gratitude brings a sense of contentment and peace, shifting our focus away from what we lack and toward what we already have. Gratitude is transformative, and when we cultivate it through prayer, it changes our perspective on the world and ourselves. It opens us up to receive more blessings and enhances our overall sense of well-being. In times of crisis, prayer becomes an anchor. It is the steady presence that we can rely on when everything else seems uncertain. Whether we are facing a personal challenge, a loss, or a global crisis, prayer provides us with the strength to endure. It allows us to surrender our worries and anxieties, trusting that ultimately everything will unfold as it is meant to. Prayer is a way to maintain hope, even in the most difficult of circumstances. It reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves and that there is a divine plan at work, even when we cannot see the way forward. The power of prayer is also rooted in its ability to connect us with others. When we pray for others, we are sending positive energy, love, and healing into the world. Prayer unites us across distances and differences, creating a shared space of compassion and hope. It reminds us that we are not isolated in our struggles, but part of a larger community of beings, all seeking healing, peace, and purpose. In this way, prayer becomes a collective force, one that transcends boundaries, creating a sense of unity and interconnectedness that can bring about real change in the world. Ultimately, the power of prayer is boundless. It is a tool for transformation, a pathway to healing, a source of guidance, and a reminder of the divine presence that surrounds us. Prayer is a practice that empowers us to face life's challenges with grace, faith, and strength. It is a reminder that no matter where we are or what we face, we are always connected to a higher power that supports, guides, and loves us unconditionally. In the power of prayer, we find the courage to heal, to grow, and to trust in the beauty of life unfolding before us. Opening your heart to healing is a profound and courageous act that requires vulnerability, trust, and the willingness to embrace the process of transformation. Healing is not something that happens overnight, nor is it something we can force. It is a gradual, sometimes messy journey that begins with the simple yet powerful decision to allow ourselves to feel, to grieve, and to let go. When we open our hearts to healing, we create space for emotional and spiritual restoration, acknowledging that while pain is a part of life, it does not have to define us forever. At the heart of healing is the acceptance of what is. It means acknowledging that hurt has occurred, whether it is from a loss, a betrayal, a failure, or any other source of pain. Often, the first instinct is to push those feelings away, to ignore the hurt in the hope that it will disappear on its own. But the truth is that when we deny our emotions or try to suppress them, we only prolong the healing process. To heal, we must first acknowledge what is broken, what is hurting, and what needs attention. Opening your heart to healing is the act of accepting that pain is a natural part of life and that it's okay to sit with it for a while, to feel it deeply, and to allow it to move through you rather than avoiding it. Healing begins when we give ourselves permission to feel. Often in the midst of pain, we can become so focused on trying to be strong or trying to push through that we forget the power of simply being present with ourselves. It's okay to cry, to feel anger, sadness, or frustration. It's okay to not have all the answers. When we open our hearts, we give ourselves permission to experience the full range of our emotions without judgment or shame. This vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a courageous act of self-compassion. It is in this space of feeling deeply that true healing can begin. When we open our hearts to healing, we also create an opportunity for forgiveness. Holding on to anger, resentment, or guilt can be a heavy burden that keeps us tethered to past pain. Forgiveness is not about condoning what has happened or excusing someone else's behavior, but about releasing the emotional grip that the past has on us. Opening your heart to healing means allowing yourself to let go of these negative emotions that weigh you down so that you can move forward with peace. This forgiveness is not only for others, but for ourselves as well. Often, we are our own harshest critics, blaming ourselves for things beyond our control. By opening our hearts to healing, we also open the door to self-compassion, recognizing that we are all human, imperfect, and deserving of love, including from ourselves. Part of healing is also about releasing the past, letting go of the things, thoughts, or people that no longer serve us. When we carry the weight of past wounds, regrets, or experiences, it's like carrying a heavy load that prevents us from moving freely in the present. Opening your heart to healing requires the willingness to release those burdens, to forgive what has happened, and to step into a new chapter. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting, it means making the conscious choice to not allow past pain to dictate our present or future. It's about freeing ourselves to experience life with an open heart and an open mind. Healing also requires patience. We live in a world where instant gratification is often the norm, but true healing doesn't work on a timeline. It is not a race. Sometimes the journey feels long and the wounds seem too deep to heal. But when we open our hearts to healing, we acknowledge that this process takes time and that each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Healing comes in waves, and there may be moments when we feel like we've taken one step forward and two steps back. And that's okay. The key is to be gentle with ourselves, to honor the pace at which healing unfolds, and to trust that in time the heart will become lighter, the pain will lessen, and the scars will turn into wisdom. Part of opening your heart to healing is also about trust. It's about trusting the process, even when we can't see the outcome. Trusting that no matter how uncertain the road ahead may seem, there is a purpose to our pain and that healing is possible. Trusting that there is wisdom in the journey and that every experience, no matter how difficult, contributes to the person we are becoming. It's trusting that with each prayer, each moment of self-care, and each act of self-compassion, we are moving closer to the person we are meant to be. Opening your heart to healing is not just about releasing pain, it's also about making space for new things to enter our lives, new opportunities, new people, and new experiences. When we heal, we clear out the emotional clutter and make room for growth, joy, and transformation. It's about rediscovering our passions, reawakening our dreams, and allowing ourselves to experience life with fresh eyes. When we are healed, we become more resilient, more grounded, and more connected to who we truly are. Ultimately, opening your heart to healing is an act of profound self-love. It is a reminder that we are worthy of healing, of peace, and of the chance to begin anew. It is a decision to honor ourselves in the face of adversity, to be gentle with ourselves when things get tough, and to trust that no matter how broken we may feel at times, we have within us the power to heal. Healing is not a destination, but a journey, and as we open our hearts to it, we allow ourselves to emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. In opening our hearts, we invite the possibility of a beautiful, restored life full of love, joy, and hope. Faith and trust are two of the most powerful forces we can cultivate in our lives. They are the bedrock of hope, the foundation of resilience, and the source of inner strength when we face uncertainty. Faith is the belief in something greater than ourselves, a sense of knowing that there is a purpose, a plan, or a force guiding us through life. Trust, on the other hand, is the confidence that we can rely on this higher power, on ourselves, and on the people around us. Together, faith and trust form an unshakable connection to the divine, to others, and to the deepest parts of our own spirit. Faith is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It is the quiet knowing that despite all the chaos and struggles in life, there is something larger at work, a universal truth, a divine presence, or a cosmic plan. Faith is the lens through which we see the world with a sense of possibility, even when circumstances may seem bleak. It is the belief that no matter what challenges we face, there is always a way forward, and that even the darkest moments serve a purpose in the grander scheme of life. Faith is not always about having all the answers. It's about believing that answers will come in time and trusting that there is meaning in our experiences. Trust is the action that stems from faith. When we trust, we show that we believe in something or someone enough to let go of control and surrender to what is. Trust is the act of stepping into the unknown with confidence that things will unfold as they are meant to. It's not always easy, especially when we have been hurt or disappointed in the past. Trust requires vulnerability. It requires us to let go of our fears, doubts, and insecurities and to believe that we will be supported, guided, and cared for. Whether we are trusting in a higher power, in others, or in ourselves, trust is the bridge between faith and action. Having faith and trust means understanding that we are not alone on this journey. Life's challenges can often make us feel isolated, but faith reminds us that we are part of something bigger, whether it's the interconnectedness of all life, the presence of a divine force, or the love and support of those around us. This sense of connection gives us the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead is unclear. Faith tells us that we are not at the mercy of life's random events, but that there is a greater force working alongside us, guiding us to where we need to be. Trust in ourselves is just as important as trust in others. It's the ability to rely on our own instincts, to believe that we have the strength to overcome difficulties, and to recognize that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Trusting ourselves means recognizing our own worth, embracing our imperfections, and giving ourselves permission to make mistakes without judgment. It is the understanding that we are constantly evolving and growing, and that every experience, whether positive or negative, teaches us something valuable. When we trust ourselves, we step into our power, knowing that we have the tools and resources we need to navigate life's challenges. Faith and trust also require patience. They teach us that things may not always happen according to our timetable, but that doesn't mean they won't happen. Sometimes we may question whether we are on the right path, or whether our efforts are leading us to the outcome we desire. It is during these times that faith and trust become even more essential. Faith teaches us that the timing of life is not always in our hands, and that even when things don't unfold as we expect, there is still a greater purpose behind it all. Trust allows us to surrender to that timing, knowing that when the right moment arrives, everything will fall into place. One of the most beautiful aspects of faith and trust is that they open the door to hope. Hope is the belief that better things are ahead, even when we can't yet see them. It is the quiet confidence that no matter what we face today, the future holds the potential for growth, joy, and transformation. Faith and trust feed our hope by reminding us that even in our darkest moments, there is a way forward. When we have faith, we hold on to the belief that there is light at the end of the tunnel. When we trust, we have the courage to keep walking toward that light, knowing that we are being guided every step of the way. Faith and trust are not about avoiding life's challenges or pretending that everything is always okay. They are about having the strength to face those challenges with courage, knowing that they are part of our journey. With faith and trust, we can embrace the unknown without fear, knowing that whatever happens, we will be okay. It's the belief that we are equipped to handle whatever comes our way, and that, no matter how difficult the situation may seem, we are capable of finding our way through it. In times of difficulty, faith and trust remind us that our circumstances do not define us. They are just part of our story, not the whole of who we are. Our strength, our resilience, and our ability to overcome are rooted in the deep well of faith and trust we cultivate within ourselves. These qualities empower us to face challenges head on, to learn from our experiences, and to grow stronger in the process. Ultimately, faith and trust are a choice, a conscious decision to believe in something greater than ourselves and to surrender to the flow of life. They are the forces that allow us to move through the world with hope, grace, and confidence, even in the face of adversity. When we live with faith and trust, we open ourselves up to the infinite possibilities of life, knowing that we are supported, loved, and guided in ways we may not always understand, but can always rely on. With faith and trust, we can move through life with an open heart, embracing the journey, knowing that no matter where it takes us, we are never truly alone. The process of forgiveness begins when we acknowledge that we are hurt. Often we try to bury our emotions or suppress them, thinking that if we ignore the pain, it will go away. But true healing starts with recognizing the hurt and allowing ourselves to feel it. Only when we face our emotions can we begin to work through them and make a conscious choice to let go of their power. Holding on to negative emotions such as anger, guilt, or resentment only prolongs our suffering. It keeps us tied to the past and prevents us from fully embracing the present. Forgiveness is about releasing these emotions so that we can break free from their grip. Forgiveness also requires understanding. It's not always easy to forgive, especially when the wound is deep. But by taking the time to understand why the hurt occurred, whether it's from a misunderstanding, a person's own pain, or even intentional wrongdoing, we can begin to gain perspective. This does not mean we have to agree with the actions that caused us pain, but understanding the context behind them can help us let go of the anger or resentment. Often we carry negative emotions because we feel wronged or misunderstood. But when we shift our perspective and see the situation from a broader view, we may begin to understand the complexity of human behavior and why someone acted the way they did. One of the most profound aspects of forgiveness is its power to heal. When we forgive, we are not simply releasing others from the consequences of their actions, we are also healing ourselves. Holding on to hurt can have a detrimental effect on our mental, emotional, and even physical health. It can manifest as stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical ailments like headaches or chronic pain. When we forgive, we free ourselves from carrying this weight. We allow ourselves to heal from the inside out. It is as though we are unburdening ourselves of an emotional load that has been weighing us down. Forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, it is an act of strength and self-care. Forgiveness also offers freedom. It allows us to let go of the past, to release the hold that old wounds have on our present. When we forgive, we choose to stop allowing past hurts to define who we are or how we live. We make a conscious decision not to allow someone else's actions to control our happiness or our future. Forgiveness, the cycle of pain, resentment, and bitterness, allowing us to reclaim our own sense of peace and joy. It is a key to unlocking emotional freedom and embracing life without being weighed down by the past. It's important to note that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. It can take time to fully forgive someone, especially when the wound runs deep. At times we may think we've forgiven, only to find that old feelings of anger or resentments resurface. This is normal. Forgiveness is not linear. There may be moments when we feel we've made progress and other times when it feels like we've taken a step back. However, the mere act of choosing forgiveness, even when it's difficult, is a step toward healing. Over time, the intensity of the pain lessens and forgiveness becomes a deeper part of who we are. Forgiving does not mean we have to forget the harm that was done to us. It doesn't mean we have to trust the person again or allow them back into our lives if their behavior was toxic or abusive. Forgiveness is about releasing the emotional hold they have over us. It's about setting ourselves free without allowing the wrongs of the past to continue to shape our future. Sometimes forgiveness means setting boundaries to protect ourselves, even as we let go of the emotional burden. It's about acknowledging what happened, healing from it, and then moving forward with the wisdom that comes from our experience. Another important aspect of forgiveness is forgiving ourselves. Just as we forgive others, we must also learn to forgive ourselves for the mistakes we've made. Often we are our harshest critics, carrying guilt or shame for things we've done or failed to do. However, forgiving ourselves is just as important as forgiving others. We must understand that we too are flawed and that we are deserving of grace. Self-forgiveness allows us to heal from past mistakes, let go of shame, and move forward with a renewed sense of self-worth. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It allows us to release the past, heal our hearts, and move forward with peace. It empowers us to take back our power, our joy, and our sense of peace. It may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. By forgiving, we free ourselves from the chains of resentment, anger, and hurt, and we open ourselves to the possibility of healing, growth, and renewal. Forgiveness allows us to let go of what no longer serves us, making space for love, compassion, and the beauty of living fully in the present moment. Releasing the past is one of the most liberating and transformative things we can do for ourselves. It is the act of letting go of the emotional, mental, and physical weight that we carry from past experiences, wounds, regrets, and mistakes. The past, with all of its pain and memories, can hold us captive, preventing us from fully embracing the present moment and moving forward into the future. When we cling to the past, whether it's old hurts, unhealed wounds, or the mistakes we've made, we limit our potential and miss out on the opportunities for growth, healing, and joy that exist in the here and now. Releasing the past begins with acknowledging it. This may sound simple, but it's a powerful first step. We can't let go of what we refuse to see or accept. When we acknowledge the past, we recognize its role in shaping us, but we also give ourselves permission to move beyond it. We begin to separate who we were from who we are now. Our past experiences, no matter how painful, are just chapters in our story, not the entire book. Acknowledging the past doesn't mean we're stuck in it. It simply means we are willing to face it with courage and to honor the lessons it has taught us. By giving ourselves permission to acknowledge our experiences, we free ourselves from their hold. Once we acknowledge the past, we can begin the process of understanding it. Understanding the events and emotions tied to our past allows us to gain perspective. Sometimes we hold on to the past because we feel misunderstood, wronged, or betrayed. Other times we may carry guilt or shame for the choices we made or the things we wish we had done differently. Understanding that our past does not define us and that we are all human, flawed, learning and growing helps us release any judgments or blame that keep us tethered to it. We must realize that the past is a part of our journey, but it is not the destination. By understanding it, we can reframe the way we see those experiences, letting go of any negative emotions tied to them. Similarly, forgiving ourselves is a crucial part of releasing the past. We are often our harshest critics, carrying guilt for things we can't change or mistakes we wish we could undo. But the truth is, we can't change the past. What we can change is how we respond to it. By forgiving ourselves, we allow ourselves to heal, and we break the cycle of regret and self-blame. We learn to accept that we did the best we could with the knowledge and resources we had at the time. Self-forgiveness is about being compassionate with ourselves, recognizing that we are all imperfect, and giving ourselves permission to move forward with greater wisdom and a renewed sense of self-worth. Another powerful aspect of releasing the past is learning to let go of old stories. We all carry stories about who we are, where we come from, and what we believe about ourselves based on past experiences. These stories often shape our identity and how we interact with the world. However, if we continue to tell ourselves a story of victimhood, failure, or regret, we remain stuck in the past. Releasing the past means rewriting those stories. It's about choosing to view our experiences through a lens of growth and resilience rather than through a lens of limitation. It's about seeing ourselves as capable of change, healing, and transformation no matter what has happened in the past. When we release old stories, we create space for new narratives, ones that empower us and align with who we are becoming. Letting go of the past also involves shifting our focus from what we've lost to what we still have. Often we hold on to the past because we are grieving something, whether it's a person, a dream, or an aspect of ourselves that is no longer there. Grief is a natural part of life, and it's important to honor it. But at some point, we must choose to redirect our energy from what is no longer present to what we can create in the future. Releasing the past doesn't mean forgetting or denying what we've lost. It means finding the strength to honor it while also embracing the possibilities that lie ahead. The future holds infinite opportunities, but we must be willing to leave the past behind in order to fully step into those possibilities. The process of releasing the past is not always easy. It can feel uncomfortable, even frightening, because it often involves stepping into the unknown. Our past, even with all its pain and struggles, is familiar. We know it's what we've come to expect. But growth happens when we step outside our comfort zones, when we dare to let go of what no longer serves us. Releasing the past requires faith, the faith that we can handle the future, that we are resilient enough to face whatever comes our way, and that we are deserving of the opportunities that lie ahead. Sometimes releasing the past means breaking free from old patterns or behaviors that no longer serve us. We may have developed ways of coping with pain or fear in the past that have become habitual. These patterns can keep us from moving forward and embracing the life we truly want. Releasing the past requires breaking those patterns, whether it's letting go of self-doubt, perfectionism, or toxic relationships, and creating new habits that support our growth, healing, and joy. It's about consciously choosing to live in alignment with our values, dreams, and desires rather than being ruled by the past. Ultimately, releasing the past is an act of self-liberation. It is choosing to live fully in the present moment, free from the chains of regret, guilt, and old wounds. It's about embracing the truth that we are not defined by what has happened to us, but by how we respond to it. Releasing the past allows us to step into the fullness of who we are and who we are becoming. It's an ongoing practice, a conscious decision to let go of what we cannot change and make room for what we can create. In releasing the past, we open ourselves to the possibility of a life filled with peace, joy, and endless opportunities for growth. Empowerment through prayer is a deeply transformative experience that taps into the profound strength and peace that comes from connecting with something greater than ourselves. It is a practice that allows us to align our hearts and minds with divine wisdom, unlocking the power within us to overcome challenges, find clarity, and navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of purpose and inner strength. Through prayer, we invite guidance, healing, and encouragement into our lives, recognizing that we are not alone in our journey, but supported by a force that empowers us to rise above our circumstances and live authentically. At its core, prayer is a form of communication, a way of expressing our deepest desires, fears, and hopes. But it is also a way of listening, of opening ourselves to the answers, insights, and divine presence that surround us. In moments of prayer, we pause to reflect, to center ourselves, and to remember that we are part of something much larger than the trials we may be facing. Prayer connects us to the divine, to our highest selves, and to the power that resides within. Through this connection, we are reminded of our inner strength and the limitless potential available to us when we trust in something greater. When we pray, we also affirm our worthiness. Prayer is a reminder that we are deserving of love, compassion, and the help we seek. It empowers us to claim our rightful place in the world, knowing that we are not insignificant, but valuable and loved. It shifts our mindset from one of scarcity or fear to one of abundance and possibility. Through prayer, we remind ourselves that we have the strength to face life's challenges, the wisdom to make the right decisions, and the ability to create the life we desire. Prayer helps us see beyond our current circumstances and envision the future we want to manifest. Prayer also helps us build resilience. Life often presents challenges that can leave us feeling disheartened or defeated, but through prayer we are reminded of our capacity to rise above adversity. Prayer provides a sense of comfort and reassurance, helping us to face challenges with courage and determination. It connects us to our inner strength and offers us the emotional fortitude to keep going, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. Prayer empowers us to see difficulties not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. Through prayer, we recognize that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Furthermore, prayer fosters a sense of peace and clarity. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it is easy to become overwhelmed by the noise of our thoughts and the distractions of the world. Prayer allows us to quiet our minds, to center ourselves, and to gain perspective on the situations we are facing. When we open our hearts in prayer, we invite calm into our lives and invite clarity into our decision-making. Prayer helps us tune into our intuition, offering us the insight we need to make empowered choices and move forward with confidence. In this space of stillness and clarity, we find the strength to make decisions that align with our higher purpose and best interests. Through prayer, we also cultivate a sense of hope. When life feels uncertain or when we face moments of doubt, prayer reminds us that we are not without support, and that hope is always within reach. It strengthens our belief that things can and will improve and that we have the power to change the course of our lives. Hope empowers us to keep moving forward, even when the future is unclear. It encourages us to keep our faith strong, knowing that every prayer is a step toward healing, transformation, and a brighter future. Empowerment through prayer is also about embracing our purpose. When we pray, we open ourselves to the possibility of discovering our higher calling, our true purpose in life. Prayer can help us reconnect with our passions, our dreams, and the gifts we have to offer the world. It empowers us to listen to the quiet whispers of our heart and to take bold steps toward fulfilling our destiny. Through prayer, we are reminded that we have unique contributions to make and that we are here for a reason. It encourages us to step into our power and to live authentically, knowing that when we align with our purpose, we are serving both ourselves and the world around us. Gratitude in the process is a transformative practice that shifts our perspective and helps us find meaning and growth in every step of our journey, regardless of the outcomes. Often we focus so much on the end goal, the achievement, the success, or the resolution that we overlook the lessons, the growth, and the beauty found in the process itself. Gratitude allows us to acknowledge the present moment and to appreciate the steps we are taking, not just the destination. By cultivating gratitude during the process, we learn to see the value in every challenge, setback, and success, creating a deeper connection to our journey and ourselves. At the heart of this practice is an awareness of what is unfolding around us. It is easy to get lost in the rush of daily life, always pushing toward the next thing. But when we stop and express gratitude for where we are right now, we give ourselves permission to slow down and reflect. We begin to see that the process is not a series of obstacles or inconveniences to endure, but rather a sequence of moments filled with opportunities to learn, grow, and evolve. Gratitude invites us to pause and appreciate even the small steps and achievements along the way, which might otherwise be overlooked. Practicing gratitude in the process also encourages mindfulness. When we are present and aware of what is happening in the moment, we can appreciate the richness of the experience rather than rushing through it in anticipation of the next thing. Gratitude brings us into the here and now, reminding us that life is happening in every moment, not just in the moments that we deem significant. This mindfulness helps us slow down, savor the process, and embrace the ebb and flow of life without feeling the need to constantly chase after the next milestone. In doing so, we begin to see that the process itself can be as rewarding as the end result. Lastly, gratitude in the process teaches us self-compassion. As we navigate the ups and downs, it's easy to be hard on ourselves, to feel that we should be further along or that we should have handled things differently. Gratitude shifts this mindset, allowing us to appreciate our efforts and acknowledge that we are doing the best we can in the moment. It helps us be kinder to ourselves and to celebrate the progress we've made, no matter how small. This self-compassion gives us the energy and motivation to keep moving forward with a sense of confidence and self-worth. A collective prayer for restoration is an affirmation of the power of healing, the strength of unity, and the limitless potential for transformation. When we come together in prayer, we recognize that we are part of something much greater than ourselves, and that through our collective intentions, we can create positive change. This prayer is not just a request for restoration, but a reminder that the power to restore, heal, and renew lies within each of us, and that when we join our hearts and minds in the pursuit of healing, there is nothing that cannot be restored.